Good morning, everybody. Um, Real quick, I wanted to talk about something that I was reminded of. If you want to be the best, like really the best of the best of the best, you're going to have to fire an employee who does everything right, but is just not producing. This reminds me of the movie Miracle, and I'll play the clip here real quick. But it's really hard to get rid of that person if they're doing everything you ask them to do. But if you want to be the best, you got to do what you got to do.
People in Minneapolis were going to give us a going away banquet for, living there. We all lived in Minneapolis, and that's where we trained. I get to the hotel where the banquet hall is, and Herb wants to see me, and someone says he's downstairs in a small conference room, a small banquet hall. And as I'm walking down the stairs, I'm realizing that this is probably the moment. Like, I knew Herb, even though no one had said it, I really thought I was going to be on the team. I mean, I really thought I would be on the team and go to Lake Placid. I sensed that he was calling me there to tell me otherwise. So I tell you, I stayed outside the room for about the doors closed for a good 5 minutes, just trying to catch my breath, get my composure, because it was a very emotional moment. It was very, very hard to think about that possibility. And so your emotions are running high, and I opened the door. Finally, I just said to myself, have some courage, take a breath, go in there and see what's going on. And when I walked in, Herb was pacing back and forth in the room. When he saw me come in, he just looked at me and he welled up, which I'd never seen that happen. I mean, Herb was a very powerful guy. And it took him a few minutes to be able to catch his breath or get his composure. And he tried to talk, and again, he was a little emotional. And at that moment, for some reason, I was extremely calm and in control. And I looked at him and I said, hey, it's going to be all right. And he sort of smiled at me a little bit, and he said, I've really enjoyed having you on the team. You've been great to have around. Your enthusiasm, your passion for the game. I think you're one of the best goal scorers I've ever seen or coached. He said, I think your injury has really slowed you down. It's only been 5 months. We're going to be playing on a big ice surface. And I have to make one of the toughest, if not the toughest, coaching decision I've ever had to make, Ralph, and I'm not going to be able to take you. And again, he welled up and stood up and walked around the room a little bit, and he sat back down again, and we talked a little bit about the Olympics. I told him it was always a dream that I had to actually go there. I said I really have I don't know where this came from, but I said I really have a funny feeling about this team, that you're going to have a real shot at a medal. And I said I think you can really win the gold medal. And he started laughing, and he said, geez, I'll be happy if we just have a good showing. There's a lot of people are not sure about that. And he said, it's nice to see you feel like that, He said, if I can ever do anything for you ever in your career, he said, it'd be a pleasure to be able to do that. And what I didn't know at that time, and I didn't know for almost 10 years, but it made sense after the 10 years, because it was an article in Sports Illustrated, and the author of the article asked Herb, at that moment when the final seconds ticked down and you knew you were going to win the gold medal, what were you thinking about? And he said, I was thinking about Ralph Cox. And I'm reading the article and I'm thinking, that's unusual. And then I went on to talk about Herb being the last cut in the 1960 Olympics, right before the Olympics. And just the ironic moment that, when he was probably letting me go, he was thinking of himself. I knew it was hard for him, and it was obviously a crushing moment for me as an athlete. And I remember when I left there, I thought my life was over. This was going to be it. It would never be the same, and my life would be very different, which it has been. And it took a few years to sort of adjust who you are in the world, because you think, at that point as an athlete, you think of yourself as a hockey player. But it really forced me and helped me think about myself and the world around me in a much healthier way, in a good way. And I went on. I had a great career playing in Europe, and a lot of good moments in hockey, and a lot of good moments working with the Penguins with Herb. And people used to tell me, don't you hate Herb Brooks? not for a second. I enjoyed him as a coach. He was a phenomenal hockey coach, and I don't think people need me to say that, but he was the best bench coach that I think most of us on that team ever had. And, it wasn't easy, I think, melding that team together. We were all young and enthusiastic guys, and all of us were the captains of our team. We all had big egos, and we all wanted to play, and we thought we should be playing all the time, killing penalties on the power play. And the guys from the East, really, that's true, and the guys from the West, they had this culture clash, and he had a way of bringing us together, and he certainly was as good as coach as I've ever played for.